Here's your wrestling news for December 18th, 2025. Your headlines for today include NXT enforces new backstage rule after Thea Hail incident, talent furious. Gunther admits he doesn't fit in, locker room issues revealed. Royal Rumble 2026 start time revealed, fans won't like this. MVP says Tony Khan is a better human being than Triple H. AEW star crosses line by referencing wrestlers' disturbing WWE past. Mercedes Moné drops championship in stunning AEW upset. WBD moves toward Netflix merger, AEW's future suddenly unclear, and more. Thea Hail's shocking NXT Women's North American Championship win on this week's NXT wasn't a creative swerve, it was the result of a real-life in-ring miscommunication that forced WWE into an unexpected title change. According to PW Insider, the planned finish going into the night had Blake Monroe retaining the championship. However, the closing moments of the match unraveled after Hail came off the ropes and unintentionally knocked the wind out of Monroe. Monroe had the wind knocked out of her when Hail came off the ropes and tried to recover to get her shoulder up, but wasn't able to do it in time. Sources indicate that Hail, still early in her career, likely didn't realize Monroe needed a moment to recover before the pinfall. Instead, she went straight into the cover, leaving the referee with no option but to make the count. Since Hail is so young, we are told she likely didn't realize she needed to give Blake a moment to catch her wind and went right for the pin. Since referees are instructed to call pinfalls as if they're legitimate, the referee had no choice but to count the 3 count. Monroe did attempt to raise her shoulder at the last possible second, which WWE later incorporated into the broadcast as part of the story, but internally, the finish was completely unplanned. The confusion was evident immediately as WWE initially played Blake Monroe's entrance music, believing she had retained, before abruptly stopping it and switching to Thea Hail's theme once the mistake became clear. The fallout didn't stop there. With the holiday season approaching, WWE had already pre-taped several NXT segments under the assumption that Monroe was still champion. Those plans have now been scrapped, forcing rewrites, and according to sources, cutting short holiday time for multiple backstage personnel. Per Fightful Select, the incident has also triggered internal discussions about tightening backstage procedures on taping days. One NXT source indicated the situation could lead to significant policy changes regarding talent availability. Traditionally, NXT talents involved in Monday pre-tapes are allowed to leave once their segments are complete. Under the proposed changes, wrestlers would instead be required to remain on site until all tapings, including Tuesday's full NXT broadcast, are finished, regardless of when their individual work concludes. According to Fightful Select, WWE is already discussing a rematch between Thea Hail and Blake Monroe for the title, tentatively planned for NXT New Year's Evil. Should WWE stick with Thea Hail and let the moment ride, or undo the mistake and restore the title to Blake Monroe? Let us know what you would book next in the comments below. John Cena's legendary WWE career came to a brutal end at Saturday night's main event on December 13th inside Washington, D.C.'s Capital One Arena. In his final match, Cena was choked out by Gunther, tapping to a sleeper hold in a decisive and controversial finish that marked his first tap-out loss in over 20 years. Almost immediately after the match, Fightful Select reported that the decision created a split reaction backstage, with opinions divided between WWE creative and members of the locker room. With the fallout still being discussed, Gunther addressed the situation during a recent appearance on TMZ Inside the Ring. The host carefully framed the question, noting that Gunther didn't need to name names, but asked whether he still felt supported backstage despite the controversy surrounding Cena's final match. Gunther's response was blunt and revealing, "I don't know because I don't talk to many people backstage, to be honest." He continued, explaining his mindset within WWE, "I try to do my own thing, do my work, and go home." For the ring general, outside opinions don't factor into how he views his role or his actions. "It doesn't really matter to me what other people think or how they judge it or whatever. I know what I did right, and I know what I do wrong, and whatever, if they like it or not, that doesn't change anything for me." The comments reinforce Gunther's cold, isolated persona, one that prioritizes results over relationships. With rumors now circulating that WWE may position him to retire AJ Styles and potentially Brock Lesnar in the future, the idea of Gunther as a modern-day career ender continues to gain traction. What's your take on Gunther retiring John Cena in this fashion? Do you think the booking decision was the right call, or did WWE get it wrong on Cena's final night? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. The 2026 Royal Rumble is already set to make history by taking place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and now WWE is officially locked in when fans around the world will be tuning in. According to WrestleVotes via Fightful Select, WWE has finalized a 2 p.m. Eastern start time for the Royal Rumble Premium Live event. The decision comes after what was described as internal back-and-forth discussions. The earlier start time represents a clear adjustment for North American viewers who are used to WWE's major events airing at night, but with the Royal Rumble broadcasting live from Saudi Arabia, the shift underscores WWE's ongoing commitment to expanding its global reach. The 2026 Royal Rumble will be the first Royal Rumble event ever held outside of North America, making it a landmark moment in WWE history. Will the 2 p.m. Eastern start time help WWE reach a larger global fan base, or will it feel like too big of an adjustment for longtime viewers back home? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let us know how you feel about the early bell time for Royal Rumble 2026. MVP isn't holding back when it comes to comparing AEW's Tony Khan and WWE's Paul Triple H Levesque. During a recent appearance on Q101's wrestling segment, MVP was asked about the creative differences between AEW and WWE. His response was blunt and sharply critical of how WWE operates under Triple H compared to Tony Khan's leadership style. MVP began by acknowledging that Tony Khan absolutely has a vision for AEW, but emphasized that Khan actively works with his talent rather than dictating to them. According to MVP, Khan creates a collaborative environment where talent feels empowered. Tony allows a lot more input, and Tony is, he has his vision that he wants, and he works with the talent and allows a lot more input from the talent into what creative path is going to happen. From there, MVP drew a stark contrast, taking a clear shot at Triple H without even needing to say his name. Whereas the nose, he's a little bit more dictatorial, emphasis on this is what we're doing, and this is how it's going to be, and this is what I want. According to MVP, the difference between the two companies is immediately felt the moment you step into the locker room. WWE, he claimed, operates in a tense corporate environment where fear hangs over the roster, especially among younger talent. At WWE, it's very, very tense, very corporate. You got a lot of young talent that are walking on eggshells, a climate of fear. A lot of people worried about losing their job. That doesn't exist in AEW. MVP then took the comparison beyond creative philosophies, framing it as a reflection of character. I think Tony, I'm just gonna be blunt, I think Tony is just a better human being, a better person all around than this guy. In MVP's view, that difference in leadership directly impacts morale and mental well-being. AEW, he says, thrives because fear simply isn't a part of the culture. Tony doesn't operate that way. He's created a culture where it's relaxed and fun. You're not walking around scared of getting heat or getting fired. That helps psychologically. MVP made it clear he has no regrets about leaving WWE for AEW. For him, the move wasn't just about creative freedom, it was about rediscovering an environment where wrestling feels collaborative, human, and alive again. Do you agree with MVP's assessment? Is Tony Khan a better leader for wrestlers than Triple H? Sound off in the comments below. If you're avoiding spoilers from recent AEW tapings, skip this segment entirely. MJF is officially back, and his return has immediately reshaped AEW's world title picture. During the December 17th tapings of AEW Dynamite in the United Kingdom, MJF made his surprise return by crashing a high-stakes contract signing involving AEW World Champion Samoa Joe, Hangman Adam Page, and Swerve Strickland. What was supposed to be a straightforward signing quickly turned chaotic once the Salt of the Earth inserted himself into the moment. MJF proceeded to verbally dismantle each of his rivals one by one, saving some of his harshest remarks for Swerve Strickland. Friedman dismissed the Swerve persona altogether, saying he knew him as Shane long before the spotlight, and openly mocked Strickland's rapper image by drawing an unflattering comparison to Sean P. Diddy Combs. He continued his verbal assault by revisiting Strickland's career path, pointing out that while he himself was grinding on the independent scene, Strickland chose to sign with WWE. MJF acknowledged that it was a smart business move, but claimed it ultimately failed to deliver the career Strickland envisioned. To drive the point home, Friedman referenced Strickland's time in WWE, ridiculing him for moments he felt undermined his credibility, including having to dance alongside Top Dollar, aka AJ Francis. The segment firmly positioned MJF as unapologetic and ruthless while reigniting personal and professional tension with Strickland. Also, MJF didn't just interrupt the segment, he changed the match entirely. Cashing in his Casino Gauntlet contract, MJF signed on the dotted line and officially made the AEW World Championship match at World's End a fatal four-way. With one appearance, MJF has gone from being absent to standing toe-to-toe with three of AEW's most dangerous main event players, turning an already volatile title bout into one of the most unpredictable matches AEW has booked this year. Do you think MJF walks out of World's End as AEW World Champion once again? Or did he make a massive mistake stepping into the fire with Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, and Hangman Page? Sound off in the comments and let us know who you're backing. AEW taped matches for one half of the Holiday Bash edition of Collision prior to this week's Dynamite broadcast from Manchester, England, with several notable names. One of the most significant matches saw Mercedes Moné defend the Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's Championship. In a surprising result, Moné dropped the title to Alex Windsor, bringing her reign to an end just short of the one-year mark at 349 days. The loss marks the second championship defeat for Moné this month. Earlier, she was beaten by Red Velvet at ROH Final Battle, which ended her run as ROH Women's Television Champion. With two titles gone in quick succession, questions are beginning to form around what's next for Mercedes Moné as AEW and ROH head into the new year. AEW's long-term media future may have just become far more uncertain, and the latest developments involving Warner Bros. Discovery could put Tony Khan in a difficult position. After weeks of speculation, Warner Bros. Discovery officially rejected Paramount Skydance's takeover bid on December 17th, issuing a statement that the proposal does not meet the criteria of a superior proposal. Instead, WBD reaffirmed its commitment to moving forward with its previously announced merger with Netflix. In a detailed letter to shareholders, WBD's board of directors sharply criticized Paramount's offer, calling it financially weak, overly vague, and risky for shareholders. The board took particular issue with the lack of firm financial backing behind the bid. Despite having been told repeatedly by WBD how important a full and unconditional financing commitment from the Ellison family was, the Ellison family has chosen not to backstop the Peace Sky offer, the letter stated. WBD also dismissed Paramount's projected benefits, warning that the deal would saddle the company with a risky capital structure and rely on ambitious synergy targets that could ultimately make Hollywood weaker, not stronger. By contrast, the Netflix merger was framed as the safer and more valuable option. WBD described it as offering shareholders a combination of cash, Netflix stock, and equity in Discovery Global, while avoiding major regulatory hurdles or financing uncertainty. The Netflix merger is fully backed by a public company with a market cap in excess of $400 billion, WBD wrote, emphasizing that Netflix's proposal is locked in and enforceable, unlike Paramount's offer, which could be terminated or amended at any time. The corporate shakeup could have serious ripple effects for All Elite Wrestling. According to media analyst Tony Maglio, a Netflix-controlled WBD could leave AEW caught between two powerful media entities with no clear long-term home. If Netflix absorbs WBD's studio and streaming assets, including HBO Max, while TNT and TBS land under separate ownership, AEW's position becomes far less secure. The situation grows even more complicated when WWE enters the equation. WWE's massive Netflix deal grants the platform exclusive rights to Monday Night Raw and other programming, potentially blocking AEW from finding a streaming foothold on Netflix should HBO Max be folded into the service. For now, AEW remains on TNT and TBS, but its current agreement with Warner Bros. Discovery is reportedly set to expire in roughly a year. With the media landscape shifting rapidly, Tony Khan may be facing a narrowing window to lock in AEW's next broadcast and streaming deal before the ground fully shifts beneath the company. TNA Wrestling is taking a cautious but deliberate approach as it prepares for its January 15, 2026 debut on AMC, and that strategy is now reflected clearly in how the company is handling talent contracts. According to Fightful Select, TNA has effectively finalized a number of short-term deals with several talent, with most of those contracts running approximately 3 months. While the initial report did not specify names, further clarity came from Brian Alvarez during a recent episode of Wrestling Observer Live. They've signed a bunch of people to 3-month deals, according to Fightful: Jake Something, Zachary Wentz, Steve Macklin, and AJ Francis. The short-term nature of these agreements appears to be intentional. With TNA entering a critical new phase on a major cable network, the company is positioning itself to evaluate both performance and direction during the opening months of the AMC run. At the same time, the structure allows talent flexibility as the promotion gauges its momentum coming out of the relaunch. With one of the company's most important relaunches in years just weeks away, more roster movement and contract clarity is expected as January approaches. Are you excited about TNA's move to AMC? And which of these short-term signings would you like to see stick around long-term? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't miss our next video coming at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with all the latest wrestling updates. Smash that bell icon and select all notifications so you're always in the loop.